Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
one. Good evening. So today we are going to do some activity. We are going to ourselves engage in this activity. So I hope you have your supplies ready. In case you don't have it, you can quickly go and get it. Okay, so we'll start exactly at 4. So quickly get your supplies. You'll be needing some glue, some papers, some colors if you want to, and a scissor or a penknife. Very basic supplies, and we are going to explore the coping strategies, emotions, and coping strategies today. Roshmija, can you start the PPT, please? Nothing much on the PPT today, but that will be an aid to show you what exactly the booklet looks like since I'm not physically present with you all. Good evening. So, are we good to go, or do we wait for a couple of more minutes to let others also join in? Yes, Shreya ma'am. Do you want to say something? So I hope we are all ready. Fine.
Excuse me, ma'am. I just have a doubt. The
Yes,
certificate will be certificate of completion or participation, ma'am. So that I just want to know.
you are the winner, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. I am the winner.
Completion. Completion.
Completion. Okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
For the non-winners, it would be certificate of participation.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's get started. This will take a little bit of time with why you need to do it yourself. So what we do is take a sheet of paper. This can also be incorporated in your art therapy sessions, where you can engage the child in making this particular booklet. See, the cover page, the one which you're going to fold into half, it will be the cover page. So it can be of any thick medium as well. It would be better if you have a thicker paper for the cover page, so that it becomes much more sturdy and it can be reused often. So either you can use a cardboard, you can use some stiff papers, maybe some stiff chart paper or art paper or watercolor paper. Those are pretty stiff and sturdy. So you can use those instead of these A4 sheets. But for today, for just a demonstration, I'm showing you with A4 sheets as well. It can be colored, it can be, you can keep a title, you can print something, you can draw something. So options are innumerable, but just keep in mind to decorate the cover page. The children can engage in decorating. That will also fixate them to the activity. So half of A4 sheet and we have a booklet kind of a thing. Okay, so I'll just give you a minute to do that.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
I just joined. Please repeat what you are saying.
Okay, Just one basic instruction: take an A4 sheet and fold it into half. That's it. Okay, so I was saying that this would be the cover page of the activity which you'll be making, booklet in fact. So let this be a little sturdy. For today, we are doing it with A4 sheets. You can do it with some other sturdy paper. It can be any paper. You can decorate it in any possible way as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So we'll come back to this a little later. I'm sharing my screen and I will show you exactly how the booklet would look like and what do you need to start writing first before we start making the chits. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So today's activity's name is I Need, I Feel Self Care Flip Book. So this flip book is extremely useful for children who are, not verbally very strong or is not very expressive. Even for children, those who are hyperactive or are suffering through Asperger's syndrome or even autism, where you need not talk much, but the children give certain solutions to what to do when they are feeling upset, feeling certain negative emotions. Okay, so as you can see, this particular picture, there is a booklet with strips of things written on it. Okay, there's a little improvisation which I have done and I've found it to be useful. So what you need to do is, as you can see, these words are printed. What we can do is we can write it down on strips of paper. But before that, before going into that, let's just explore what steps you need to follow. Do it for yourself. Make this your own self-care flip book. So what you do is list down your core emotions. Okay, core emotions would comprise of being sad, angry, sick, surprised, happy, unhappy, bored, excited, or any other emotions which you generally feel. Okay, so first step is listing down all your emotions, the major emotions which we have, both positive as well as negative. For children, if you have trouble articulating the emotions, try out the other one which we did yesterday. Find out or psychoeducate them about certain emotions which are, the dominant emotions like anger, sadness, joy, or overexcitement. ADHD children, for them, excitement is something where they are really out of control. Okay, so these things, if you can pen it down first, and then we will start making these strips. Okay, so first I'll give you 5 minutes in order to write down the dominant emotions and ponder over it. Okay, what all emotions, what do you do generally when you feel those emotions? So quickly write down your core emotions. A
Ma'am, we
few
need to
of your
fold the
core
paper and write.
emotions. This is your cover page, but
Okay.
something which you need to write, you can write it down on a scrap paper also, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
this is some activity which you need to work on.
Okay.
We'll take approximately 5 minutes to complete this. For children who will not know about emotions, how they are feeling, first it would be your task to psychoeducate them about emotions. We did one yesterday. You can also show them emotion cards, certain pictures, certain faces. I have included it in the PPT yesterday. If you want to check, you can go to our website and check it and download the PPT. So a few things which we are writing is our core emotions and how do we generally feel. I start mine with anger, um, generally when I face anger, I start crying. It's not due to hurt, it's because I can't control my tears. It just automatically comes out. It's kind of a stress relieving activity for me. Okay. Other people might find it that maybe I'm hurt or I can't understand what's happening or I'm feeling really overwhelmed. But I know that due to my anger, I start crying. I can't control that. I burst into tears. Not because I'm hurt, because I'm angry. In fact, when I'm upset, I try to be aloof. I sit quietly. So each one of us will have a different way of expressing certain emotions. So when you're dealing with children, try to explore what they do when they're feeling these emotions. Priya ma'am writes the same thing. Yeah. I'm glad I found someone who cries when they're angry. But that's an advantage also, in a way. See, anger has certain anti stress hormones, maybe your body sheds it out. The tears has certain anti stress hormones. So the body discards the stress through crying. So you feel better after that. That's the way of catharsis of your body. That's your natural calling, in fact. So nothing wrong in it. Fine. Emotions which we can generally, yes, anger is a secondary response. So, but still, we can have it as an emotion because children are much more familiar with it. So, we'll just go by the superficial layer of emotions, whatever we feel inside, what are the emotions. We don't go into the intricacies of the levels of emotion. Okay. We can have anger, we can have joy, we can have sadness. Any other suggestions from your end? What all emotions can we list down?
Fear,
Fear, yes.
irritation, ma'am. Does irritation come under emotions?
Irritation is, yes, it's a level of, what do I say? It's a level of rage or anger, as we say. You can write it down. You can always have a few more.
Ma'am, frustrated,
Frustration also, yes. These are all levels.
Ma'am,
anxious,
loneliness.
anxious.
Anxiety,
What about
Anxious,
anxious? Yeah.
anxious,
Worried,
worried. See, these are
bothered.
all levels of the same emotions, core emotions, but you may write it down. Okay, if the child wants to write it down, you can write it down because this is a coping toolkit for you. Okay, so for each of these emotions, you may have a different way of coping with it. So it's okay, no issues on that. For children, try to work with 4 to 5, not too many, because otherwise they will become overwhelmed. Okay. For say hyperactive children, overexcitement, you can have one of the emotions written down. When you're overexcited or when you are very excited about something, what do you generally do or how do you feel? Okay. So they write down these. Roshmita, can you go back to the previous slide, please? Okay, you must have the previous one, please. In the picture, as you see, it's written I feel. Okay, so what you're going to do next is we are going to divide the page into 3 sections. Over here, it's only two, but one more section would help. Okay, so this you're folded like a card and then you open it up. Over here, on your right, the portion where we write our wishes and our names. Okay, so this portion, what you do is on top, maybe with a sketch pen or a pen, you can write down I feel right on top. can write I feel. Then maybe you can leave 3 fingers gap, and in the middle you can write I need.
It should be in a positive way or negative way?
Then we'll come to it. We'll come to the next portion.
No. In I feel, we have to write in a positive way or a negative way.
No, I feel it can be any emotion. It can be a
Okay.
positive emotion, it can be a negative emotion. That's
Right.
what we are going to create. That's
Okay.
what you are engaging the child to create. Okay, the list which we made for ourselves, it will be the same way with the child also.
Right.
What all things do you feel, what all emotions do you feel. They can either pick out a card and tell you that yes, this is how I feel looking at the expression, or if they are a little older, they might be knowing about emotions and generally how they react when they are feeling that particular emotion. Okay, the same exercise you do it with the children.
Okay.
Okay, so leave 3 fingers to 4 fingers gap, and in the middle you can write I need. And again, 3 to 4 fingers gap, you write down below it, I can. So this is the way it will look. So this is the card. I hope I did it right. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the card. This would be the front page where you can decorate, where you can ask the child to decorate something after the activity is done. And then you write down here. So I feel, I need, and I can. Right? Clear till here? Roshmija, next to next slide. Okay. Now a little further exploring. So once you've written about the core emotions, what you do is take another sheet of paper. It can be a colored paper, it can be any decorative sheets, it can be those, what do we say, sticky notes, the strips of sticky notes which you can put together. So again, fold the A4 sheet into half. Okay, and what you do is cut out strips, maybe 2 inches. Okay, so approximately 2 inches strip, cut it out. I'll show you one. If the child is too young, you have to do it for them. But if they can handle a scissor, it's okay. They can do it themselves, but avoid using pen knife. So I cut out a strip and it's like this. Okay, so once I write down my things, I can just paste it here. It becomes part of the booklet. You can cut it a little shorter, so that it fits inside the booklet. So I'm just cutting off maybe half an inch from the end. So you have a shorter strip, shorter than the booklet, like this, so that it fits in. So whenever you are pasting it, it fits in. Okay, so what you do is cut out more of these strips. Okay, we'll take approximately 2-3 minutes to complete this. More of these strips equal in size. Now you have this template, so you can use it. Use the same width and the length, but make sure it's from the folded part. Okay, so here, take it, measure it, and cut it. You can also do it together. You can fan fold and do it, no problem. Avoid printing anything, because then that essence of engaging in the activity is lost. So let the children engage as much as they can. They can decorate these strips of paper also with something. They can color these strips. They can make it into different patterns. And when they are doing it, you can strike a conversation and explore, like, whatever responses they have written, like, If they are joyful, they tend to run around the house or be extremely active about everything. And more often, you can relate it, you can thread it to certain incidents. Like if you are too active in the house, if you're being very active, do you generally break things around you, or do you push someone and someone gets hurt? Hyperactive children. So you'll get a lot of insight also as to what is causing them trouble. Why are parents coming and complaining? What can be done about it? So these will be important cues which you'll be getting while they are engaging, because their mind will be much more relaxed and off from their worries. You can have as many options, as many strips. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, will you please show me how to stick the strips?
Sorry, how to?
How to stick the strips?
We are not doing the sticking part right now. We're just
Okay.
cutting it. We'll write it down and then we'll stick it together. So
Okay,
I'll show
ma'am.
you how to stick it.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm done with these scripts. Even if they are doing it, zigzag, something is like not in alignment with the others, don't try to perfect them. Just let them engage in this. That's their personal work. So try to be motivating. And a common question: how does my painting look like? How does my work look like? Rather than telling them or giving them your feedback, ask them. That's the best way to engage them and make them feel important. Like, how do you feel about your drawing, or how do you feel about your creation? Okay, that's the time they also start talking and they feel important, that yes, I've done a good job. You can say that you've done a good job in the end, but not before that. If they're asking for approval, or if they're asking for suggestions or even a feedback, try to reflect what they're saying, try to give it back to them and see what the response is. Okay, so this is the
Excuse me,
entire
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
We have to perform this activity with the child simultaneously, or only instruction to him, her.
You can do it. You can show it to them. You can also engage. Engaging is much more fun, and it's good for the children because they see you, observe you, and then do it. If they're older children, you may not engage but observe. Okay, that's your option. That's totally your option.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
That's optional. Yeah. So now what we do is, whichever emotion we have written, we write it down one by one on these strips. Say I have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 emotions. We'll just take 4 for the time being. We'll take anger, sadness, fear, and joy. Okay, you can take your own 4, but for me, I'm taking only these. So I write down in bold anger, like this. Okay, each strip one emotion: sadness or
Okay,
sad
we have to write all these emotions on a page. Then we
on
have to
these.
write in a strips.
Yeah, the page what you're writing is just brainstorming. This is the final output. Brainstorming, why? Because we need to think before we put down on our self-care booklet. Okay, so this is what you will be writing on the strips, the emotions for the I feel section. So anger, sadness, joy, and anger, sadness, and fear. You may have your own set of emotions written. Write as many as the child wants. Okay, it's not only limited to 4, but since we have limited amount of time, that's why. So So these are the 4 emotions which I have done in a strip. Okay. Next, this one. So now you can staple it easier if you staple it. But if you don't have a stapler, you can just glue them together right at this part, where they are joined, one after the other. So I'm gluing them together. Put it this way. Okay. Pretty simple. That's it. It's done. Press it for some time, leave it for some time so that it gets stuck properly. So this is how it will look like. Okay. This is how it will look like. It will be a booklet kind of a thing, a strip of booklet. Clear till here? Do I pause for some time? Maybe a minute?
Ma'am, can you please flip through the booklet that you just made once?
Yes, yes. 1 second. So I'm repeating the steps as you are working on it. This would be your main page. This would be written inside. Right on top, I feel. Next is I need. And third one is I can. Okay. And leave some space, say 3 to 4 fingers space for each. Okay. So because you need to stick the strips. And then what you do is cut out strips a little shorter than the booklet and approximately 1.5 to 2 inch in breadth. These kind of strips, equal size. And what you write is on the strips, you write each of these emotions which you have brainstormed. Okay. So I've taken 4 of them and I have made it. So it's like a booklet. We've done till here. Just stick them together towards the end.
Excuse me, ma'am. The strips we need to again cut into half, or the longer one will be writing?
Longer one only, I'm folding and pasting it.
Okay.
See, this is the long one, so it's already connected over here. So you don't need to cut it out again. You just fold it, write it down. This way. So that it fits inside the booklet. It's a little shorter than the booklet width. It will fit in easily. Fine. Moving on to the next step. Any questions so far?
Ma'am, there are 3 ones: anger, sad, fear, and 4th one is?
You can have your own set of emotions. I have taken for myself anger, sadness, joy, and fear.
Joy and fear. Okay.
Ma'am,
You can
minimum
have
how
your own
many
set.
we have to write?
There's nothing called minimum or maximum. If the child identifies only one dominant emotion, stick to that for the time being. You can always add up later on. You can stick pages once he or she is able to, understand. There can be as few as 2. It can range to as many as 10 to 12 emotions. So it totally depends on the child and what you feel needs a little bit of attention.
Okay, ma'am.
For children who are coming with low self-esteem needs or low confidence, even children with learning disorders, generally they will have a low self-esteem portrayal of themselves. So what you can do is they can write down certain emotions which they feel. Major emotion would be feeling lonely or lack of friends. Okay, not feeling confident. So those emotions can be highlighted. Okay, it's also as per your observation what all emotions need to be penned down, what needs a little help on. Okay, so it will differ from person to person. It may not be same for everyone. A child may not have anger issues at all. Okay, the child may have some other issue, some major dominant emotion. So you can always write down these, and you can have the less dominant emotions also, especially the negative ones. Okay, positive ones are easy to handle, but negative ones need a lot of guidance and exploration. Feeling of loneliness. When you feel lonely, what do you feel or what do you do? Okay, these questions come up, and then they don't have any solution or they don't have anything that can make them feel better. We'll come to that next part. So, this done, what you do is stick it on the book. So, backside, I'm putting a little bit of gum here. Avoid using a stapler on for this part and just stick it like this. So it's like a booklet within a booklet. So you'll have a few strips of paper telling you what all emotions are there. So if I read it, I feel anger. When I feel anger, okay, you can add a when also, but when I feel anger, I need. Now we are coming to the next part. So if I have to talk about myself, when I feel anger, what do I need the most? What I feel I need the most is to stay aloof from everyone, to stay quiet, to not let other people disturb me. Okay, not even come and talk to me the best of possible things, also, not even in a polite way. Okay, till I cool down. So, what I need is what I need to write for the first strip for the emotion anger is when I feel anger, I need to take a time out. That's the language children use. Okay, I need some space. For an adult, it would be some space. So I'm writing for myself some space on the first chit. Okay, it's a
Stay,
different strip. It's a
stay
different
alone.
strip.
Stay alone.
Yeah, stay alone, whichever you feel you can relate to. So this is one another strip. On top, I'm writing for anger some space or staying alone or a time out. Okay, these are the phrases which the child will only tell you. Okay, so when you feel angry, I understand you feel anger. So, what would work the best if you're angry so that you cool off quickly? So, they might tell you a very different thing that if I'm angry, I would like to talk to my mother, or if I'm angry, I would like to eat a chocolate. Okay, it can be a plethora of situations. So go by what the child is telling you. Okay, this done. This is the first emotion which I had written a solution for. So when I'm angry, I need to get some lone time. Next emotion is feeling sad. For me, it's being sad. So I flip the chart and I have sadness next. So the next thing which I need to write down over here, generally when I feel sad, I need a warm cup of tea or something which is, which warms me up. Maybe a cup of coffee or tea or chocolates, something which I can have. So it's more like having it. Ice cream. It can be something else also. If I feel sad, I generally listen to music. For children, it can be if I feel sad, I want to hug my teddy. Okay, or I would like to talk to my friend. So let me write down maybe hot coffee. I'm writing for myself. So this is the second emotion I've explored. Okay, so this is for anger. This is for being sad. Now I come to my third emotion, which is joy. When I'm joyful, I need to talk to someone. Okay, when I'm joyful, I like to share my joy. I like to sing or I like to be around people. So the next strip, I take another strip and then write. See, you cannot reject um, positive emotions because we are only trying to problem solve. No, you have to include also positive emotions, and especially for hyperactive children, because if they are overexcited, overstimulated, they tend to be get into a lot of trouble for their actions. If they're very happy, they try to shout out loud or run around the entire house. So you need to focus on these areas also. Okay, for maybe another child, joy means remaining silent, not having anyone to share their emotions. So that can also be an indication of lack of friends. Okay, we'll come to the next part, what the I can part. Okay, so say for instance, if a child says that when I'm joyful, I generally feel happy, but I don't have anyone to speak to. So I need someone to talk to. So I need to talk. So you can write down, I need to talk. It may be very different from for other children. Even for you all, it can be a very different thing altogether. Okay, so for the third emotion, you can write down to talk. Whichever emotion you're dealing with, you can write down your own thing. And the last emotion, the fourth one, which I have written, is fear. Okay, so when I feel scared or fearful, I need to switch on the light. I do not like staying in a dark room. Okay, fear can be that for children. Fear can be something else for adults. Fear can be a sense of insecurity. Fear can be a sense of other people getting to know something. So it can be a form of a guilt for adults. For children, it's more of a real fear, a real threat which they are perceiving in the environment. It can be fear of insects. It can be fear of darkness, thunder. Okay, fear is very different, differently related to for adults and children. So keep a watch on that. Be careful about it. So for me, if I'm fearful about something, I generally would like to again talk to someone or distract myself through my art. So I can write maybe art making. For me, if I'm fearful, I like engaging myself. So I've written art making, right? So we have these four strips. We have problem solved. You can take more time. Yes, there can be two to three things. You can write it down. No problem. As many as the child wants to. Okay, so in these strips, I have written. So serial order wise, what you do is if you have a lot of emotions with you, you can number it or maybe write down four in pencil and then you can erase it later after you fix them. So this is my order: some space for anger, hot coffee, then you have to talk, and then to art making. Okay, so these are my I need area. So I'm sticking them together again the same way in a serial order.
I mean,
If you're
every emotion has to
yes,
be
for
written on the
every
grid.
emotion. Every emotion, for whatever emotions you have stuck on the workbook, you have to have a I need strip as well. Okay, I need strip for all the emotions which you have stuck together.
Okay.
You can keep on adding also in case the child comes up with another emotion. You can just simply add it on top. You can add the I need part also on top, so it can just be stacked.
So, Doctor, here I have a question here. If
Yes.
the child, the behavior is unacceptable behavior, no, usually he get into. So, we should not promote that part. No, we can ask
No,
them to,
of course not.
okay, the positive behavior they have to.
Yes. As I was saying, that when the child feels anger, he needs the chocolate every time. So that is nothing, not a positive behavior all the time. Maybe once or twice he may have chocolate, but not all the time, because that can lead to a different repercussion altogether. That can lead to a dependency altogether. So something which can be, which you feel may lead to certain consequences which may not be pleasant. You can always suggest that is there anything else which you can work upon. Say for instance, chocolate is not available in your house. What will be the best possible way you can engage? Okay, do not reject what they are saying, but give them more options to work on. So what they can do is write down along with the chocolate. They can write down two, three more. In case chocolate is not available, what do I do? Okay, so this way it would be much more better rather than totally rejecting of the negative behavior. Later on, you can always go back when you have, built upon the child's kind of problem areas, you worked upon, you worked through a few sessions, then you may suggest that do you think this would be required here, or you can totally raise it off. Okay, so you can do it a little later maybe.
Now, when we do it for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
are we asking the child, what is when you are happy, what is that you usually do? Or when you are angry, suppose the child is hitting somebody, and child is
Mm-hmm.
saying, when I get angry, I will hit someone.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it is in the first time, no, he is expressing that, then that time we should, what is that we should tell the child to write down
See,
the truth.
yeah, this is kind of a behavior manifestation which he's doing, but I need to would be a coping mechanism. Say, for instance, a child tells you that when I'm angry, I hit someone. So, of course, that is a negative aspect. We cannot put down that when I feel angry, I need to hit. That cannot be written. So what you do is you can tell them that I understand that you want to hit someone, but is there anything which will help you not to hit? Anything which maybe talking to someone, or maybe doing certain things, which will make you much more calmer at that point of time, so that you don't engage in that hitting. Okay, so that you don't hurt the other child.
So the objective of this activity is mainly to explore the feelings and teaching the coping skills, right?
Yes,
Healthy coping
yes,
skills.
yes. Positive, yes, healthy coping skills. Exactly. Okay. So this done, what you do is next again stick it here. So a little bit of glue and it will be done. Okay. Now, if I read it from the beginning, when I feel anger, I need some space. Okay. And then I've written I can. So, what can I do in order to get some space for myself? Because it gets very difficult when you're into an argument. Say, for example, with your spouse or with your parents or whoever, as an adult, I'm talking. It gets really difficult to move away from there and then, totally shut out people, because other people won't understand how I'm coping up or what I need. So, what you can do is the next step, in case this is not possible, say I need some space, people of course will not give me some space if I tell them to, or there's a constant argument or exchange of heated words going on. So what can I do about it? I can rush to the washroom, I can drink some water, I can disconnect myself, okay, or go to some other room. So how am I engaging myself in order to do this? Okay, is it clear to all of you?
So, ma'am, it will be about which behavior we could do when we want to
Yes,
incorporate the healthy coping mechanism for the
exactly,
current
exactly,
emotion we are going through.
exactly, absolutely. Somewhat overlapping, but it is more of a consequence. I'm actually engaging in. This is what I'm thinking I will do, but I'm actually engaging in. This is going more deeper into the roots. These are my strategies where I can just disconnect myself from others. Okay, I can go to the washroom, I can stay there no matter how long it takes for me to cool down, or I can just go for a walk, or
So
I
that is like an
can.
alternative, right? That's an alternative
Yes,
behavior.
yes, absolutely. Alternatives.
Okay, so
And
I
what will
need is I
enforce?
need is the actually ideally that is what we would do in the situation. But if that is not possible, what is that I can
Yes,
do about it?
alternative.
So that is an
Yes,
alternative behavior. Okay,
yes,
now it's clear.
yes. So you are giving more of options to the child as well. Okay, the child writes that I feel lonely, so I need to talk to someone. What if people are not present? What else else can you do? Okay, that is what you need. But if it is not possible, what else can you do? As Dolly ma'am pointed out, no, I want to hit. Even if the child writes down that, okay, you can always say that what are the alternatives you can do. See, that is not what what we generally engage in. Other people won't like it, neither will you. So what are the other things which can help you to feel better or lessen your anger?
So
So these
need
are the
can
third
be
category.
so the need can be either healthy or unhealthy, but alternative is always we focus on the healthy.
Yes,
Okay.
healthy part. Absolutely. So again, whichever strips you have remaining, okay, for all the four emotions, you can write down the alternatives. Many of the times these teens come and tell me, when I have a fight with my friend, I just can't cool off and I've hit the person. So what we engage in a talk is what are the alternatives you can engage in. You can maybe, if you are in that situation, of course chances are that other people will keep on telling you certain things which will make you even more furious and angry, which can aggravate your anger. So in order to detach yourself, you can always ask for permission, go to the washroom, stay there until you feel better, until you feel calmer. Okay, this is one alternative. What else can I do? Go and talk to the PE teacher right now, problem solve. If you want my help, I can also go and talk, so that in case you feel overwhelmed by that emotion, and if you have that intense urge of hitting someone, you can always go down to the playground, take his permission, and start playing some games in order to vent out your energy. Okay. So while this is going on, they have more of coping mechanisms which will help them to overcome that negative emotion. Okay, and if I have to give an example of hyperactive children, how do you think you can engage them through this activity and make them problem solve? The biggest problem area being all over the place all the time. If they're excited, how do you think you can incorporate this particular activity? Anyone who would like to talk on this? Say I'm excited. A hyperactive ADHD child comes and writes, I feel excited and I need to run around the room all the time and talk to people and pull out some toys and play with them all the time. But what can be the other alternatives? What can be you suggest, or what can the child engage in?
We can put a song and dance to it, sit
Yes,
at
of
halls and
course.
all.
More constructive, someone writes, they can skip, hop, and draw, scribble. The squibble activity which we did last day, that can also be very engaging. Yes, play. So what you can do is keep a curated box. Generally, when we are dealing with parents, we tell them that keep a quiet box for them. You know, incorporate all the coping strategies which you can. Keep some clay, keep some, musical instrument, a small musical instrument which they can engage in. Keep some drawing book, coloring book. Okay, so this particular box will help them whenever they are feeling excited. They can write that I can engage myself with my quiet box. Okay, so that's the strategy alternative they can find, and inside that quiet box they'll have a lot of options to engage them
The
quietly
squeeze
and
ball
not
is
run
also
around.
very good. Squeeze ball.
Squeeze ball, yes, of course. Squeeze balls, those what do we say, those bulgy eye alien toys which we get when we squeeze them, their eyes come
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
pop up. So these are a few tactile toys which they can use, children may use. A lot of coloring activities. So if you have a box for them, if you have some space where you have allotted all these things, they can start engaging in these. They will of course become bored after some time, but at least for some time they're trained to sit and
And this
engage.
building blocks is a very effective.
Yes,
Building blocks, no?
yes, even puzzles. Yeah,
Mm.
puzzles, building blocks, clay, all these keep them engaged. And since they have a lot of option, they spend more time sitting down, and exploring all the options. So it's kind of a training also.
Maybe we can create a calming corner in the
Yes, yes,
at our
yes,
room.
yes. Calming
Ma'am,
corner.
what about counting backwards?
Counting backwards, whichever whichever tools you have for ADHD children,
Yeah,
you bring
because this will be good. Especially for a teacher,
you
like, supposing they're getting a child very hyperactive, counting backwards can really help, the child actually
yes,
think. So I think counting
keep
backwards is
counting.
something easily available, and you don't need anything, only the knowledge of uh the maths
Right,
or the counting the numbers.
right, right. Skip counting also helps. Skipping one number or two numbers, you set the rules and tell them.
What you said, ma'am?
Skip counting.
Ah, okay. Keep
Simon
counting.
Says game. That also.
What is that, ma'am?
Simon, Simon Says
Ah,
game.
Simon
I think
says.
I
Oh,
did
that's
it
nice.
in the first session. It's extremely engaging and it's
That's a
extremely
very good game.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. That's
even
a nice idea,
statues,
Simon says.
even
Oh yes,
statues.
that's a nice.
Generally, the children, engage through games. So if you tell them that we'll play a statue game and let's see who wins. Okay, you have to stare at each other or do some motion and then remain in that frozen position all the time. Instead of calling it statue, you can have your innovative names.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's nice.
so yeah, so through this you kind of brainstorm what all things can calm them down and make them sit. If you're excited, you would feel like engaging yourself in these activities, so why don't you write down these? I'm pretty sure you can come up with more ideas. Okay, but when you're in the field you can run around if you're excited, no problem. Okay, if you're doing a PE class or when you're playing games, of course you can run around. But when you're at home, since you don't have much space, what can you do when you're feeling very excited? I'm pretty sure you would love drawing. So these are few verbatims which you can use with children, and they readily engage, they cooperate also. When you give them a lot of options to work on. Yes, act like a frozen doll, absolutely. So you can use your own creativity to create. I had written for sadness, I had written when I flip through hot coffee, but if it's not available, or if I have to engage in something else, if I have work, if I don't have time to make one, maybe I can listen to music or do some scribbling. So I can write down.
You can also have a coffee chocolate.
Yes. Thank you for the idea.
That's easy.
Okay. Okay, I feel joy and I need to talk to someone. If someone is not available, I can try out journaling. I can talk to myself. And the last one, if I feel fearful, I do a lot of art making. And maybe for an adult, maybe I can problem solve, think about consequences. For a child, it may be read a book or go to your mother or maybe watch something or do something else. It can be a lot of things which the child can engage in. So another strip which I have, my healthy coping mechanism, the alternatives to it, you can write as many as you want to, and if the child wants to doodle, draw something, that would be fantastic, to make it more colorful and pleasing to the eyes. So if you want to draw your own booklet, print out something, or maybe use stickers. Children love stickers, so as a reward you can give them a few stickers to stick on this. So there goes the last part. And I'll do a little bit of decoration and coloring. You can take much more time than this, Okay, it may take 2 sessions to complete this activity. Do not hurry up. Okay, let it be a very slow paced one so that the child gets enough time to think and seep in the things which they have written. Otherwise, it's of no use. This, with permission from the child, of course, you can always show it to the parents. They would love to show this thing to their parents, especially the younger ones. And the dual purpose is the child will feel important, and also the parent will have a knowledge as to what can be done with the children when they are experiencing these emotions. So it's a dual purpose. If the parents are open enough, you can always get into a discussion. Of course, asking the child, but then again, you can indirectly also tell them. So this is the thing which I have done. You have the flip book. So here I feel anger and then I take some space. If not, then I lock myself somewhere or drink some water or go somewhere else. Okay, for a child, it may be something different. Then when I flip this part, when I'm feeling sad, what can I do? I take a hot coffee, but if it's not available, I can use some music or I can do both at the same time to make myself feel better. For joy, it's generally to talk to someone, but if that's not possible, I generally do a little bit of journaling, art journaling. Okay, and the last part is when I am fearful, I generally do a lot of art making. And then, if that is not possible, if that is not calming me down, I try to problem solve. I sit down and use maybe a few CBT techniques in order to understand where the source of fear is and how to cope with it.
Even we can include this breathing exercise, all those things.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Whichever you have in your toolkit, you can always suggest, write down. But this in itself will be therapeutic while they are doing it. Okay, because they are doing it themselves. You are only assisting them. They are problem solving on their own. You may suggest, but it's a fun way of engaging for the children. So this is the inside of the booklet, and when you turn it, it becomes just like a card. Okay, so when you open it, it's more of a flip book, which I have with me, with all my options in one place. So that's why I asked you the cover, make it a little stiff, give them stiff paper if you have it. If you don't have it, then it's okay. But this particular cover, you can ask them to decorate, write their names, or give it a caption, put some stickers on it, put some emotion, emoticons over here. Okay, so any questions? I think we are done with this. Any questions you would like to ask?
This is for virtual counseling also we can use, no?
Yes, 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 of course. You can use it for virtual counseling as well. Any questions? Everyone seems to be very silent today.
Very nice activity, ma'am.
Actually, this activity is very engaging, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very interesting, ma'am.
I wanted to ask, like you were telling it earlier also, that this is meant especially for ADHD and Asperger's and one more you were
No, no,
saying.
not especially. This will be very useful for the children who are non-expressive.
Not
Through this
okay.
activity, they engage. And if
Okay.
you can show them a few cards, Roshmita, next slide, if you can move on. See, these are a few emotion cards. You can print them out, you can draw it yourself also. There are more to it, of course. So what you do is just keep them in place and then try to educate the children about different emotions or show them these cards. Yesterday in my PPT, I had included a blank template where they can draw out a few emotions and the expressions uh, of each of these emotions. So you can use that also. Anything else, Roshmija? Next slide. Okay, this was the application part. Very easy feedback about oneself. The children will get even a feedback for parents. If you feel that yes, you can show this entire coping mechanism card, it becomes easier for parents to relate to their children. And of course, the healthy coping options are highlighted, so children readily know. They can just take it out and then they read through it, and then they know what they can do in order to control the negative emotions.
Right.
Okay, then. If no questions, okay. Someone asked me something. Just 1 second. Okay, since y'all have been with us for so long, what I feel it would be bad if I don't include you in the practice session. So it is open for all of you. Okay, so whoever wants to join in for the practice session, you may. So there's no limitation. We'll keep the same ID.
How was this practice session you're going to do?
Practice session will be next week. It will be again, you'll be given certain case studies. So you need to work on them. Okay, and it will also be part of your assignment where you can use the strategies which we discussed, or if you have any other strategy which you want to, incorporate, then you can do that. Okay, it will be small
Individually we have to do a.
Think it would be better individually, because then last day we had this issue of few people staying back in the main call. So I think we can discuss as an entire group. Okay, rather than split activity.
It is from Monday.
And, today was the 8th class. Tomorrow will be 9th. Monday I will not be able to take the class. It will be on Tuesday and the last class on Wednesday.
Okay, the practice session.
Practice will be on Wednesday. The last class will be on Tuesday. Okay, Monday we are not having any class.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please share the red flag checklist of children.
I had uploaded in the website, ma'am. Every day I upload the recording as well as the notes. Okay, I'll be uploading a few more resources, maybe end of the entire course. Okay, so that you can go and check out.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Based on the discussion, I'll have a few more templates which you can use, which will be uploaded on our website itself on that page. Okay, so keep
nothing
checking
will
the
be
page.
mailed, right?
And
I have
Yes,
a question related to the advanced course, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we need to buy any stuff for the course?
No,
Any
no, no.
materials, nothing.
Buy in the sense, maybe you'll be requiring a sand tray, because we'll be teaching you the sand tray, the advanced techniques and the templates and all. So basic sand tray, even if you have a small tray, if you don't have that's not a problem. But if you have, it would be good, because then you can practically do the thing. Okay, it's only that what we require. Natasha, ma'am, you were asking something?
I was just asking whether all the material is available only on website, or will it be mailed to us?
Mailing again, it will be a very cumbersome task. Okay, if I can
No
mail
problem.
it after the thing.
Okay, sure,
Everything
sure.
is uploaded, ma'am, on the website.
Okay,
Okay,
no
if you can
problem, no
check, if
problem.
you are having any problem, then you can contact me. Okay, I will
All
send
right.
you.
Thank you so much. It was a lovely session.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Okay,
Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Yeah, ma'am, you're very pretty also.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
beautiful.
Thank
Pretty.
you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
This
ma'am. It will be
Thank you.
lovely
this you should have mentioned it on the first day only.
Now you're embarrassing me seriously.
No. You should not be embarrassed.